I am your weather woman, meteorologist Amy Metz, reporting from Hawaii on the severe weather in the United States right now. So hurricane season is coming up, but already there is tropical moisture heading from the Gulf of Mexico for quite a while now up the central United States. We have a tornado watch extending from Colorado through New Mexico, parts of Texas. This has already developed tornadoes today, so I will be going over that. But first, I'd like to make note of my page on Facebook and show you where somebody had posted on Facebook, this person here listed, a video from North Dakota. Just a few days ago, this Landspout happened, and it's just incredible. It looks almost fake because nothing is getting torn up at the ground there. You don't see any trees or houses being damaged, but very clearly, and there's so many more reports of this Landspout did end up coming over land a bit. So these are water spouts that form on water and then track onto land. So luckily in this video we're not seeing the damage. There are some storm reports up that we will go over. Today alone we have had tornado reports. This is 8 of them today, all in Colorado. Could be coming from maybe just 3 or 4 tornadoes that are producing this many reports, but this is the severe weather outlook for today. It does still extend in toward North Dakota, and there is flooding still in the regions that just had flooding in Texas and Louisiana, so that became very severe. And again, thunderstorms. When it comes to this lightning also, I'd like to point out that there is an enhanced risk for lightning and more lightning produced when we have these solar flares. So right here we're looking at the Space Weather Prediction Center showing an R1 that today there was a radiation storm, or in the last 24 hours there was a radiation storm. So these charged particles, if they come near Earth like they did, because this particular website monitors these coronal mass ejections that blast off of the sun, you're looking at the sun, and if they're coming toward Earth or not. So from this we can gather that we did have interaction at Earth. Our magnetosphere and our atmosphere did become ionized from these supercharged particles. These are very energetic particles. So when they interact with our upper atmosphere, it ionizes it and creates extra lightning. So do be aware of that with these storms that are in the forecast and that are ongoing now. I'm going to go up a little higher in the atmosphere and show you why the outlook for tomorrow will again shift a little bit. So right now we have some upper level, it's very, how do I say this, very calm in the upper levels over North Dakota today compared to the other day at the mid-level. But then moving forward, we're going to be seeing this mid-level trough propagate eastward. So when that happens, we know that this right exit region, what scientists call this part of the jet, when this starts to come over North Dakota with stronger winds again, and that jet streak where the brighter colors are that turn purple and white come close to North Dakota over the next day or two, we'll again see a lot of fast-moving wind up above that's going to move apart from each other and then create an upper-level divergence that initiates storms. So there is more reason to believe that in the coming days there will be more storms in this region. And if we look at the actual jet levels and look at the jet streak where it's white now, you can see again as this plays out over the next couple of days, it's this point right here. And now, and moving forward, that North Dakota would have severe weather as long as those wind particle barbs are going away from one another. Up until about now, it's leaving North Dakota at this point. So this is a model playing out, and within the next 24 hours, I have a good reliance on this particular model that I'm using. So I would go ahead and say it's worthwhile to believe that that's something we can rely on, and other models are suggesting that there will be some precipitation in those areas by then. So looking at the available moisture would be another indicator here to know who is going to get the severe weather and how severe. And lastly, I'll go ahead back to the Storm Prediction Center to see what their forecasters are saying as well. I haven't read everything of theirs yet, just because I didn't finish forecasting the next couple of days myself. So we do have some moisture available. It looks like not producing rain, but there is some cloud cover over Montana and North Dakota right now, so that's right here. And that all of this moisture that is coming up from these warmer tropical regions is pushing up toward North Dakota. So again, more reason to believe that in the next day and the next 2 days really, there'll be more severe weather in North Dakota. So we're looking at, let's see, probably Sunday Sunday afternoon, I would be on alert even in North Dakota again. Colorado, probably this entire region, on alert through Monday. So it's been a while, you know, it is the time of year. I'm going to go over some more technical products here in just a moment that I'll glance at for forecast purposes just now. But so here we go, same story. It's showing a little bit more on the higher resolution here, but again, a lot of moisture. And then some of the other tools for analysis data that I like to use are here on a college website, a college at a page, weather.cod.eud, if you want to try this out yourself. One of the other huge factors here is a low level convergence. I already saw proof that there would be an upper level divergence in the coming days. But as far as convergence goes, looks like I need to go to a different location for the one I'm looking for. But here we go. Analysis data. Try and remember where this is. Under surface maps, here we go. So the convergence and a moisture flux here. Yes, right now, if it were severe weather over North Dakota, you would see these red lines there. So in the coming days, we can see here, not a forecast, but we can see the past data. So definitely there was something that passed there with a lot of low-level convergence when there was the tornado that I showed at the beginning of this video. And again, that will be passing by. We can see on the 1 day ago that there was a cold front over North Dakota. This is extending then down into Wyoming and Utah. So today that had time to sweep across Colorado. And then 1 day previous, it was back in Montana. So with the coming day or two, I wouldn't be surprised to see another front pass by here. And even if it doesn't form into a surface low pressure, we can still believe that there is going to be severe weather for the other reasons that we looked at, that divergence up above, that jet flow. And what I want to do here now, I think this would be the best one. We're going to look at the sun to see the rest of that radiation storm that just happened. So hopefully we can catch something interesting here. Coronal mass ejection. This is actually plasma that is magnetically charged and can leave the sun. So now that we are getting, there we go, some of it left. We're starting to phase into a portion of the solar cycle, the 11 to 14 year cycle, where we're going to see more and more of these bright regions and more of the plasma blast off. Like we just saw some bits of shock waves here. And sometimes you'll see it get very white, and that is a solar flare. So we did see those M-class flares I showed from the Space Weather Prediction Center, and I'll bet you those were them. Those were more powerful. So what happens here, why I'm tracking this especially as a meteorologist, is that these stronger solar storms are known to help seed clouds. Cosmic dust has been studied to seed clouds, which means that we can get more rain. And the lightning is an obvious factor, but when I was tracking hurricanes, I noticed that they got more intense and they were more troublesome after these solar storms. So this is the reason why, as a meteorologist, I've decided to study space weather as well. So I'm getting a graduate degree in that. And taking it from there, seeing how it can play into severe weather. So one of the biggest reasons why people get tornado outbreaks in their towns is that there is cold, dry air pushing into warm, moist air. So we've already known that because of where this air is all coming from, and at the lower levels, it's coming up right off of the Gulf of Mexico, very hot, very humid. These bright regions are hot colors, and then it's right next to what looks like will become another cold front. So that is going to be in Montana probably, and then passing North Dakota in the coming days. We know that then, as scientists anyway, forecasters, that when these air masses collide, it ends up creating swirls in the atmosphere. So this is Sunday playing out with the temperatures, and then overnight, of course, it gets a little cooler. But during the day, again, those mashups of temperatures colliding, looks like now Wyoming and Colorado, again, could have some severe weather too. So looking ahead, I'm going to then, now that I've kind of put together my own forecast and seen what I think, I'll look at their next day's outlook. And I'm assuming, yes, North Dakota would be in there. And then again, parts of Colorado from what we just saw. So be on guard again tomorrow. Weather radios, have a backup in case power goes out and you need something battery operated. Make sure you have a couple of forms to stay alert if you're in these areas. This again would be South North Dakota, where we saw the Landspout the other day. Almost all of South Dakota, the west portion of Nebraska, and then the northwest corner of Kansas. Just be wary of the warnings, and if you're going to go commute especially, check out the radar first. Make sure there's not a big storm that's going to pass by you that you would be better off waiting for. So then the day after that, we're looking then into Monday now. I was thinking maybe still a little bit of severe weather, but they're putting it more at the thunderstorm risk. I saw a few things dying out there myself, so I don't think that we're going to have the worst day tomorrow, but let's remind everyone right now that this is tornado season for the United States, for the central U.S. What I'm going to do right now is show you, we're looking at storm reports from 5/22, that's today. We've already got 8 tornado reports in red. There's hail in green, which are up to 11, and 1 wind report for today. Now, tracking back, we didn't have any tornado reports yesterday, but just to give you a reference of how serious it is this time of year to be prepared for tornadoes in these regions, we're going to look at the red dots here and see how many days in a row have had tornadoes. So this is 1, and we're going for 2 days now. 3 days in a row with tornadoes. 4 days in a row. That one had 27. This is the 5th day in a row with tornadoes. Now we're at the 6th day in a row, 7th, 8th. So 8 straight days with tornadoes. We just had one little gap the other day, and now we're back at it again with more, and more to come. So we're going to keep watching the forecast, zooming way out even, looking at satellite imagery just to give a real more in-depth, longer-term overview before I sign off here. There is some dry air behind another system or two for the central U.S. So we'll see that over the last, back this up to the last 12 hours. This is infrared satellite, so that regardless of if it's sunrise, sunset, day or night, we're going to see imagery the same way. Anything very, very torrential downpours would be red. And then grays are usually those kind of wispy cirrus clouds. Oftentimes blues and greens are light drizzle or maybe just clouds, to give you an idea of what's going on here. We do have the severe weather in the central U.S. These storms here with some bits of red and orange are producing tornadoes. And now I like to look at this on a large scale to kind of think ahead about what might be happening. Wow, what a glitch. That could have been from the radiation storm, frames being dropped from charging. The particles can actually charge satellites as well. So we have around the same time an increase in cloud cover globally. If you watch that, watch the glitch and see how the cloud cover just kind of amplifies across the globe afterward. One of the indicators that perhaps, yes, these sorts of events do seed clouds and create more clouds and then can in turn intensify pressure systems. So I'm noticing there's this dry air. So once this larger scale trough in the next couple of days pushes across the U.S., we could perhaps be getting some severe weather then even maybe in the Great Lakes. Given some other factors, it's pretty low, I would say, but as this trough exits the United States mid-week, there could be a little more weather associated with it, but afterward it looks like there's quite a few reasons to believe it will be mostly dry across the United States, that there won't be a lot of severe weather then coming into the weekend and then the beginning of next week. So things can change. We can have different waves in the atmosphere then push across the Rockies where there's no moisture present, then it will appear. Perhaps there's another solar storm that initiates excess cloud cover. So for the time being, I would say not looking to be likely that there will be a lot more severe weather coming up this weekend, but it is that time of year, so be on guard, especially as this right side of this trough is what we call kind of the U shape in the atmosphere. as it passes toward the east, this region of it, the right side, is going to be the strongest with the most severe weather. So be careful for that one. And then I'll bet you I'll be back here in about a week talking about another storm. I do want to show this one again. It was just something else to see. Can hardly believe this video. Right over everything. No damn, it's wild to see something so distinct just right above the tree line and where the homes are. There were so many people in the comments here saying this looks unreal, it looks fake, and it sure does. I mean, I've seen some things look like this, but also with our resolution changing in our video cameras these days, it's pretty interesting to see what we have available now. Taking one last peek to make sure there's no active tornado warnings, and there's not. These should probably be dwindling down a little bit now that the sun is setting. So thank you for watching, everybody. Again, I am meteorologist Amy Metz, and you can find me here on YouTube. Subscribe, like the video, or you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I have all of that in the description. Enjoy the